Hi Scorpio, this is your reading for November 2018. So what I'm seeing here is there's some kind of dissatisfaction in your love life, especially if your love life revolves around family. So if you, or even if you're not in a romantic situation, if you're living in a family setting, you might be slightly unhappy with the dynamics that are in that family right now. Some of you might be dealing with heartbreak. And for those of you who are dealing with that heartbreak, the reading is saying that it's kind of like it's going to be short-lived. It's not going to be as bad and as long as it may have seemed, or it may seem right now if you're going through it now. I am seeing there's some stagnation. You're trying to make a decision about something, and it feels like there's a conflict between what your mind is saying and kind of what your heart is saying. So what is practical and versus what inspires you. So I'm sensing that a lot of you are kind of stuck between two options. One seems more practical. The other one might seem to be a bit more intellectually stimulating, and you can't seem to make a decision at this time. And so I'm seeing that you have, you're in a period of stagnation. So that's a really common theme in this reading. There's a lot of twos, and just a lot of like duality, and just a lot of cards that resemble stagnation. I'm seeing that some of you might be very, I wouldn't say anxious, but maybe, taking control of your finances and being worried about where your financial efforts are going, and kind of like being afraid to take the next step with something because you're afraid of losing money, or you're afraid that you're not going to be able to make ends meet. So I'm sensing that there might be some kind of either a passion project or some kind of potential job that is that has delay around it because you are worried about the financial aspects, the practical aspects. For those of you who are not happy in your family situation, or you might not be happy in your marriage or whatever, and whoever you're living with, it's showing me that the concern around that situation might be affecting your decision making with this project or job, or whatever it is moving forward, because you're worried about you have instability in the home, so you're worried about where you're going to be in the next, few months or few years, and so you don't want to be really taking risks. And so you're kind of just like at this stagnation point. I'm seeing very little movement in this reading, like very little very little moving forward, and more just kind of like a time of maybe things being a bit more stagnant than you would like. I'm just going to draw a card for your advice, because this reading doesn't seem to offer really any advice yet. So I'm going to see if we can get some kind of advice here. Okay. So yeah, the advice is definitely, we've got the Six of Swords here, so okay, I think the advice is to move away from the situations that are making you uncomfortable, or giving you a lot of emotional pain, because it's saying that this is kind of your time to shine and go through with whatever project it is or whatever next step you want to take, but something is stopping you from leaving. And I want to know, what is it that is stopping you from leaving and making that move, taking those steps? What is it that's really deep down holding you back? You definitely have a lot of, some of you might be, I just got feeling of guilt, some kind of guilt around leaving, or some kind of like being emotionally tied up in a situation that makes you feel guilty for leaving. Yeah, so you've got fear of loneliness, fear of moving forward, losing these people or this support, and being on your own. And, having a serious fear of your wishes not being fulfilled. I think the cards are saying to disregard those fears, though. So I think you should start to take steps moving forward, because the reading is saying that you have all your resources. You have everything you need. But you do have a lot of fear holding you back. You're afraid of being on your own. You're afraid of things not working out. And this family situation, or this unhappy partnership, or whatever it is really blurring your view, your clarity. For those of you who are working through a breakup or some kind of like emotional situation, I'm seeing that you're gonna become partnered again rather quickly, and it looks like it's probably gonna be a successful partnership. So, yeah, Scorpio, that's all I really have to say for your reading. I hope that this gave you at least a little bit of insight. Yeah, but just, take the first step. I think that's what the cards are saying, is take the first step, because that's the hardest step to take. So thank you, Scorpio, and I hope you join me for your next month's reading.